What's in that recent rocket fuel powering Poet Technologies' second stage boost to escape the gravity of this year's established decline? Well, it appears to be composed of growing ties to AI hardware demand, particularly through connections with Marvell and NVIDIA-related supply chains. Poet confirmed a purchase order linked to Marvell and expects further orders from partners like Foxconn and Luxshare. These developments are tied to AI data center expansion and demand for photonics solutions to reduce bottlenecks, with Poet anticipating significantly higher orders than a previously disclosed $5 million contract. So let's see if this momentum can be sustained to test the $14 level around the next extension level by the end of this month. In a more medium to long-term outlook, the aftermath of an inevitable correction will direct attention towards the early uptrend line and established $10 boundary, which is currently being surpassed just fine, with volume well above 15 million. Earlier, Poet also gained some reputational justice by addressing investor concerns after a short seller report and clarifying its tax situation. It plans to provide U.S. shareholders with information needed to make a qualified electing fund (QEF) election, which can mitigate tax consequences related to its classification as a passive foreign investment company (PFIC) for 2025. Due to a net loss that year, the election is not expected to create additional tax burdens. Poet also aims to relocate its headquarters to the U.S. and redomicile, potentially eliminating future PFIC status, pending shareholder approval expected to be discussed at a June 2026 meeting. Prompting further optimism, the last 3 green days can be the start of a healthy incline into double-digit territory. Checking in on Surf Air Mobility, bearish momentum from the long-term downtrend did push back with moderate strength to start off the week. Yet the solid lower $1 boundary immediately began repelling any advances lower, though it has put mounting pressure on further development of this early incline, developing further. So it will be vital to at least contact the 140s by the second week of May to build any lasting bullish momentum and avoid a fallback to pressuring the $1 threshold into the second half of the year. One of the whirling winds blowing surf comes from company insiders like co-founders, executives, and directors investing about $5.3 million as part of a broader $30 million capital raise, consisting of $15 million in common equity and $15 million in non-dilutive aircraft-backed debt. Aside from that, Surf also completed a $15 million stock offering to institutional investors and insiders, with proceeds going to accelerating its Surf OS software platform, advancing electrification efforts, and reducing existing liabilities. Surf is staying aloft because of the potential of its approach that's built on its Surf OS platform developed with Palantir, which is designed to optimize operations such as scheduling, maintenance, and pricing across its airline and charter businesses, leading to a brighter 2026 outlook that sees cutting expected adjusted EBITDA losses by about 40%, while maintaining projected revenue growth of 20 to 30%. Surf is also expanding its charter marketplace and software offerings, onboarding brokers, and planning new tools for third-party operators and enterprise customers. Hawaii is positioned as a testing ground for electric aircraft through a partnership with Beta Technologies, with cargo demonstration flights expected this year. Another reason Surf and its supporters have staved off a crash under $1 has to do with improved confidence after it completed implementation of a safety management system ahead of regulatory deadlines. Flying further up in the atmosphere, Redwire is emerging from a volatile start to the year, thanks to it continuing to build its defense business, highlighted by more than $20 million in new orders from U.S. Navy and Marine Corps programs for advanced versions of its Stalker drone systems, designed for reconnaissance missions in challenging, GPS-denied environments. Redwire's reach also spread internationally, opening a new office in the United Kingdom to support Ministry of Defense programs and strengthen collaboration with local partners, aligning with broader growth across Europe and other global markets. And to gain extra green publicity, it announced a multi-year partnership with the Washington Commanders focused on military appreciation initiatives in line with its branding and outreach efforts tied to defense. Chart-wise, price is progressing well up this channel. with adequate volume at or above 30 million to exit the bullish reversal range in style. If this momentum can be kept up for constant contact over 1225 by the first week of May, rocketing back up for another go through this red range can be a distinct possibility. And even if that fails, the successful reversal and break over 10 now offers a solid support range moving forward, offering a shallower, slower route back to previous highs, which can also be aided by the broader bullish backing from the global emphasis on increased military spending and newly reinvigorated excitement around space exploration following the Artemis II mission. Moving on to MicroVision, which hit its own sort of red wire in early March when the red rush was decisively repelled and later followed by a modest upswing, which could continue into a moderate uptrend if price can keep drifting up onto the 70 boundary and start advancing over it by early May. Ideally, this would be done with volume at least around 7 million. If not, then the long-term bearish advantage eloquently represented by the last stable downtrend line can start to tip the scales back in the bears' favor in the medium to short term, easily pushing price back into neutral to bearish trading without volume even going above 5 million to return pressure back on the 50 threshold. The fundamental factors that have led to the recent bullish shift have largely come about because of MicroVision advancing its LiDAR 2.0 strategy by shifting from a hardware-focused model to scalable software that targets near-term revenue. Traction is being gained in industrial markets with active shipments supporting autonomous hauling, mining, and trucking applications. Its LiDAR sensors and perception software are being integrated into systems, enabling safer navigation, improved efficiency, and reliable performance in harsh environments such as mines and highways. To accelerate adoption, MicroVision launched a global partner and reseller program, helping companies integrate and deploy LiDAR solutions across industries like automation, defense, and infrastructure. The initiative emphasizes scalability, cost efficiency, and lifecycle support, while expanding reach in regions including Japan, Europe, and North America. Leadership is reinforcing confidence in the strategy, with executives and board members committing to purchase company stock. Financially, however, MicroVision remains in an early commercialization phase, with low recent revenues, ongoing losses, and expected cash burn as it integrates acquisitions like Luminar and Scantinel, and consolidates operations. It expects 2026 revenue of $10 to $15 million, driven by industrial applications, while automotive revenue is projected to scale later in the decade. Now, up to Avis. It finally got some kind of correction after an amazing run that will no doubt go down in the history books, alongside stocks like GameStop and Opendoor. The big sell-off was to be expected after climbing several 100% in the span of a few weeks. So if 400 doesn't hold, there could be an easier time falling into the 3 to 200 range, where more substantial support is expected. Things might even quickly settle down for a few days with little change, as the market waits for Avis to release its first quarter results on April 29th, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Interestingly, the extreme volatility powered by a super short squeeze has significantly influenced the performance of the Dow Jones Transportation Average, where it has accounted for a disproportionately large share of recent gains due to the index's price-weighted structure. The rally has been fueled by unusually high short interest and concentrated ownership, creating conditions for rapid price increases as short sellers rushed to cover positions. Hedge funds and retail traders alike have played roles in amplifying the movement. Even so, the broader transportation sector has also posted solid gains, with many companies rising independently of Avis's surge. Underlying fundamentals, including expectations that higher vehicle prices could boost rental demand, have contributed to the bullish boost, though they're not the primary driver of the stock's dramatic rise. Financially, Avis has reported significant losses and carries substantial debt, highlighting a disconnect between its market valuation and core performance, which bears are just waiting to pounce on. That is, if they can get an opportunity through the large crowd of bulls still huddled around.